This is the 2025 VW Jetta GLI, and it's had a mid-cycle refresh, both inside and out. The best news is it retains its 6-speed manual transmission, something the GTI and the Golf R have both lost. So today, I'm going to review it and find out if the updated 2025 VW Jetta GLI is still as good as it was. So sadly, VW has discontinued a manual transmission on the Golf R and the upcoming Golf GTI, and this was not a decision made by declining demand in North America. In fact, 40% of people opted for a stick shift in those cars. Problem is, the Golf is a world car, and the take rate for manuals in Europe and the rest of the world was really declining. But thank goodness, in North America, this is a North American vehicle, so we still get the stick shift. I'll be honest, I never really liked the Jetta. There were a couple of editions years ago that were kind of cool looking, but over the years, Volkswagen has morphed the design into something that's actually quite a good looking vehicle. So for 2025, the GLI is mostly unchanged, but they have made some minor changes to both the exterior and the interior. So there's a slightly more attractive sort of front fascia and grille design, and then you get this sort of unibrow light bar that connects the two new updated LED headlights. Now, this is something that I don't like. It comes with these Hankook all seasons. They're 225/45s all around. I think VW really should have given us summer tires as standard on this car. But the good news is you can always go down to your local discount tire and get some summer tires. Additionally, the GLI borrows the 13.4-inch front brake rotors and big floating calipers from the 7th generation Golf R, as well as 3-way adjustable adaptive dampers. And then the model designation that used to be right here on the front fender has now been relocated to the door, and it's simply GLI. At the back, there's a new trunk lid, and these taillights now span the whole width of the car, which is pretty standard these days. And then two really nice chrome-looking tailpipes, which are real. Mechanically, the GLI remains unchanged from previous models. It's got a 2-liter turbocharged 4, gives 228 horsepower, 258 foot-pounds of torque, driven through either a 6-speed manual, as this one has, or a twin-clutch automatic transmission. Both of those are a no-cost option. It also has an electronically controlled limited slip diff that helps to transfer torque between the front axle. In the back, you lose the benefit of a hatch, but this one is actually quite large. Gives you around 14 cubic feet of space. And then underneath here, you get a couple of tools and an actual spare wheel. So for those of you out there that have a problem making a choice, you don't have to with this, because it only comes in Autobahn trim, and base prices start at $32,175. It comes standard with heated and ventilated front seats, leather upholstery with this fancy red stitching. Now these seats, they're pretty good, but they don't quite offer the lateral support that you get in the GTI. So VW, could you put those seats in this car, please? You also get a Beats audio system, which is very good, a sunroof, which is not so good, and then various bits of black trim, mirrors. These wheels look really good, and then the roof is also black. That's $650. You also get this red, King's Red paint for another $455. That takes the out-the-door price to $35,175. So here in the back, the seats are actually quite comfortable, and I've got an okay amount of headroom and certainly a lot of legroom as well. What I don't get are any vents for the climate control or any power. But I do get an armrest and a couple of cup holders. So here in the front, pretty nice for the driver. Powered, everything on this seat, including memory. Passenger, not so much. No seat height, back and forth and tilt. That's pretty much it. But the cabin itself is really nice. The steering wheel is really nice. It's slightly cut off on the bottom. little GLI, little badge right there, and there's plenty of lumbar support, at least in this seat. So the GLI's interior sees fewer changes, but they're mostly good. It's got this newly sculpted and designed dash. Embedded in there, you've got the 10.3-inch digital driver's display. You've also got an 8-inch touchscreen. Now, the good news is that's the old one and not the troublesome system that's used in the GTI. We like that. So bad news is down here, they've replaced the old knobs and the buttons with this capacitive touch system. So you've got these little slideys right here, and then capacitive touch buttons at the top for your heated and cooled seats. It's not ideal, but if you set them correctly before you set off, it's probably the best thing to do. Below that, you do get a wireless charging pad and a couple of USBs right here. Right next to the manual shifter, you've got a 12-volt engine start, parking brake, and then your modes, and then that is your traction control off. So modes offered in this car: Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sport, and Custom. If you go into Custom, you can adjust DCC, steering, drivetrain, Sport, engine sound, comfort. Let's have some engine sound on Sport, please. ACC, Normal, climate control, etc. So we'll leave those settings as they are. Two decent cup holders here, and a little bit of storage space in the middle. Head of the driver, this is VW's version of the digital cockpit. It works really well. It's not quite as good as the Audi system, but you can basically configure it to how you want. You can change the views on it. Simple press of a button. I like to have the speedo in the middle and then a huge sign for how much gas I have left. So you get these touch buttons here, capacitive buttons. They're sort of annoying, but if you keep your hands out of the way, you won't inadvertently turn the heated steering wheel on. All right, so let's go ahead and take it for a drive and see what it's like. All right, off we go. I don't know about you, but I get sadder and sadder every day as to the fewer manual stick shift vehicles that I get a chance to drive on these tests. I mean, they are definitely a dying breed. And I love this one in a stick because it's got so much torque. You don't have to rev the snot out of it to get it to go. You can cruise along in sort of third gear, 18 miles an hour as we get out of this little spot right here, and it'll just go. So first impressions, the stick itself and the clutch action are really nice. And they always differ, even if it's the same make and model of car. You jump into another Jetta GLI or two different SIs, and there's always some slight difference. Let's get on the road here. We've got it in custom mode. Traction control kicked in there. This road's a little bit lumpy. Yeah, I do like the stick. And off we go. The only problem that we're going to have today is we got all seasons on this thing. It's not the fastest car in the world, 0 to 60 in around 6.1 seconds. It's a little bit slower than GTI, but the GTI has more power. But I honestly don't think this needs any more power. Oh, it's got plenty of power. I always feel like the Germans slightly cheat on their horsepower figures. I feel like this has more power than what is written on the label. I do like the fact that the infotainment screen is angled toward the driver. That's also a nice feature. It's really annoying when they don't do that. It's not the fastest car out there, but I tell you what, there are not many cars these days that you can have a lot of fun like this and be grinning and having a great time for under $40,000. All right, so these tires are gripping a little bit soft in the sidewalls. So far, these Hankooks are not complaining. do like how this goes. Traction control kicked in there. It sounds good. It feels good. It's a great drive. It's a great little car. I'll be honest, it probably doesn't need the additional power that the Golf has. It's not really something that I would normally say. I always feel like most cars need more power, but I feel like this one is just a bucket load of fun, as is. Hard on the brakes. Brakes are good too. Comes straight from the R. Trying to get these tires to complain, but they're not. Just lovely. Alright, well, we came, as usual, we've come up behind a slower vehicle. Who let me past? Now, I do like having the electric powered controls for the seat in a manual car. It's less important in an automatic, because you can get the seat perfectly right. So you've got the clutch, the take-up point, the reach to the stick. You can get that. You can do the fine adjustments, and then this one lets you use seat memory to remember it in case someone else drives it and messes it up for you. Makes a great sound, this car. Yeah, VW should keep producing this car. They really should put the stick shift in the GTI too. That is just sad. But this is the only VW in North America that you can get with a stick shift. That's it. The only one. These are slightly twistier turns here. Running in third gear. It's been recently paved, so it's fairly smooth. You can definitely chuck this car around. Alright, back to the rough pavement. That's why we put those settings in. Comfort suspension is needed. Whoa, whoa. Almost overcooked it. Tight right-hander. Nice view over there. Okay, a little bit of squeal from the tires there. Like a baby that's lost its pacifier. Oh, there we go. Oh. Well, job done. I got it to squeal. A few tight twisties here. I'm really impressed with the brakes. Chassis control is great. This is a great little car. It really is. Such a pleasure to drive. Especially when you drive it fast. Definitely 2 thumbs up for this car. So what do we think? Well, the Jetta GLI faces some pretty stiff competition from the likes of the Hyundai Elantra N, which is pretty much the performance champ in this particular segment. The Honda Civic Si is also excellent, a little slower than this, but one of the quickest shifting and best shifters on the market today or ever. But this car is definitely better value than the GTI. It's quick, it's fun to drive, and the couple of $1,000s you save over buying a GTI will get you a really nice set of summer tires. Once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time with another video.